Hey, when you're implementing APIs, keep this in mind. You're going to, like in our case, we started out with our web app, and then we built our responsive mobile, and then our mobile app, right? And our mobile app has been out there in the App and Play stores for many months now. For more than a few months. But we built that after our web app. And the reason I mentioned that is when we designed our APIs initially, we designed those APIs primarily, I don't want to say exclusively, but primarily at that point for the web application. So we did the best we could, right, just given the requirements of the web application. But then when we later implemented the mobile app, we repurposed the APIs for the most part, because a lot of the functionality that's on the web is on mobile as well. Not exactly in the same manner, and it doesn't map one-to-one, but for the most part we've ported over a lot of the web functionality onto the mobile app. And we are continuing to do it, and in many cases we do mobile first, so we build it on mobile and then we port that over to the web. In both cases you want to reuse the same APIs. It's going to save your development time, but that's not always possible. So in some cases you have to look at that on a case-by-case basis. In some cases you're going to have to in some cases you would rewrite the APIs, and in other cases you would repurpose the existing API and make changes to those APIs. Now, having said that, you also want to keep an eye. You also want to keep in mind that you want to minimize the number of round trips you make to your application servers. So, in some cases, if you are able to reuse the existing APIs, it might mean that you have to use more than one API in some cases to get the information that you're looking for. So, if you ended up rebuilding it or rewriting that API, you can write it in a way such that it returns the response that the mobile app screen or the web page is looking for. So you'll be all right by making just one API call, but that's not always possible. So you will be in a situation quite often where you're going to have to pick and choose from a number of APIs and then make those requests to the server and eventually construct or build your pages. When that happens, you might run into performance issues, because there is depending on your network and where your servers are located, and from a geographical standpoint, whether it's Amazon or Google Cloud or Azure, it doesn't matter. If your servers, the database server, the app servers, and all of those are co-located, then you're going to not notice these issues. But that's not necessarily the case, and it's not always in your control. So what that means is you have to do things a little bit differently, so you don't notice those, you don't run into performance issues, and you don't notice, and your users do not notice those lags. Now what do you need to do? You can do many things. One of the things you can, which is what we have also done, and it's made a tremendous amount of change. It's given us a lot of bang for the buck in terms of performance improvements. The mobile app is actually a whole lot faster than it was before, even when you're not on your Wi-Fi. When you're on Wi-Fi, things have almost always been all right. But if you're on your data plan, and depending on where you're at, if you're in a location such as this where not much is going on, we did notice some lag. Here is what we did. We packaged what we do now is we make those API requests slightly differently from how we did it earlier.